Pizza so good, it'll leave you shell-shocked. The best pan pizza recipe ever.
Hey everybody, it's Jammy, and the recipe that we're doing this week is technically not from Shredder's Revenge. Now, there is pizza in Shredder's Revenge, but I'm not gonna make the pizza from the game. I'm making a pizza that captures a moment. What am I talking about? Now, I don't know how old you are. I'm as old as a tree. I remember going to sit-down Pizza Huts and going in with my family, ordering a delicious pan pizza, and then while the pizza was made, I would go into the little mini arcade and I would play Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, which is one of the best arcade beat-em-ups of all time. Maybe just one of the best games of all time. Anyway, I don't know if you played Shredder's Revenge. If you haven't, go play it right now. What are you doing watching this stupid video? Go play Shredder's Revenge. Go do at least one playthrough. It's a lot of fun. Maybe the best Ninja Turtles game ever made. Maybe. It's available on every platform. It's available on Xbox Live Arcade. Is that what it's called? It's available on PlayStation 2. It's available on the Switch. I played on the Switch, of course. It's available on, I believe, the Bandai WonderSwan and the Satellaview. But you need a dial-up internet connection for that, so I don't know if you'll be able to do it. Anyway, it's on every platform. Go play it. And what I'm going to try to do today is recreate that delicious 90s Pizza Hut pan pizza. Now, I've tried to make really good pan pizza before, and I've always failed because people like to get fancy with it. I don't want fancy pan pizza. I want my pan pizza to taste like I bought it in the food court in a mall that's about to be demolished. So what I did was I combined two different recipes. The dough recipe is from America's Test Kitchen, which is a high liquid dough. It's a little bit stickier than usual. And the cooking method is from one of my favorite cookbooks of the last year, Foodheim by Eric Wareheim, who is a very talented cook and one of my favorite comedians of all time. Love you, Pepe. And what I got is the perfect pan pizza, and it is super easy, I'm happy to say. Alright, for the dough, it's one of the easiest pizza doughs you'll ever make. You barely even have to knead it. It's made out of flour, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and yeast, of course, and your water, but we'll get to that in a second. Alright, in a medium bowl goes your flour, and your salt, and your sugar, and your yeast. Mix that to combine. Now add your water and stir it until it's just barely combined. Cover it, and we're gonna let it rest for 30 minutes. When that's up, uncover it, and using slightly wet fingertips, pull the dough to make a tight ball. This is a cool trick that I learned from Brian Lagerstrom. I hope I'm saying your name right. It's a really cool trick. I do this with pretty much every dough that I make. Alright, once you do this, cover and let it rest for another 20 minutes. Now you really want to actually knead it to combine it so that it actually starts looking like a dough. You shouldn't have to knead it for more than a minute or so. Also, you can slap your dough balls a little bit. I think that helps. Alright, get a Tupperware or any airtight container. I'm using my Cambro. And spray it down with a little bit of no stick spray. And then plop your dough in. Spray your dough again. Put on the lid, and then you're gonna let it rest for at least 12 hours, although 24 would be even better. And you wanna do this in the fridge, of course. The sauce is equally simple. It's made out of tomato paste and all these delicious seasonings. All right, in a bowl goes your tomato paste, and then measure out equal parts water. Just fill up your can of tomato paste with water and add it to the bowl. Add your seasonings, and then stir to combine. That's it. Cool, huh? Cover it and then store it in the fridge until we're ready to use it. Pizza Hut dusts all of their pizzas with something called fairy dust, which sounds like a narcotic. It's not. It's completely legal, and you can make it in your kitchen. It's just equal parts Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, and dried oregano. Now, I'm using the good stuff as far as Parmesan cheese goes, but you can even use the stuff from the can. It doesn't matter. While we're here, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and click the little bell icon so you don't miss a video. Also, that whole thing that I said about Ninja Turtles and pizza coming together, like, that can't just be me, right? Comment below if you also dig the combination of pizza and Ninja Turtles. We've got all our three components, let's make pizza. Alright, now I'm making my pan pizzas in 6-inch carbon steel pans. I think they're carbon steel. Anyway, they're the kind that Pizza Hut uses. I found them online. I'll link you to them in the description of the video, and you can score some, but you can probably get away with using a cast iron pan of the same size, or even a cake pan. Alright, step 1, you're going to want to spray your pans down with no stick spray. Alright, pull your dough out of the fridge, and then divide it by 3. It doesn't have to be exact, but if you want really perfect thickness, I would suggest getting out the scale. But anything close to thirds is probably good enough. Alright, add like half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of olive oil to the bottom of your pan, and then plop in your dough. Now, when it comes to pressing out your dough, do not get a rolling pin out. You can definitely do this by hand. Just drop it into the pan and kind of stretch it. Like, go easy though, it's kind of a delicate dough. Go stretch it very simply in the air until you can kind of push it into the edges of the pan. You want to also make it even, so like push out from the center to the edges. When you're doing this, make sure that you flip it around a few times so that you get oil on both sides. Alright, once you get your doughs ready, cover them and then let them rest for at least 15 minutes. In the meantime, you can preheat your oven to 408 degrees. Now, I'm doing this in my toaster oven because I don't want to heat up the whole house in the summer, but you can also make them in your big oven. Now that we let our dough rest a little bit, it's a little bit relaxed, and we'll be able to, once again, press it into the edges of the pan. And this time, because we let it rest, it should stay. Alright, now you have to dock the dough. Now I have this little pizza roller thing that will let me dock the dough, but you can also use a fork, or maybe a plastic fork, something that's not going to damage your pan. Alright, you're going to want to ladle on about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of your sauce. You don't really have to make it perfect, you can eyeball it. And then spread it around to the entire pizza dough. Alright, now you can sprinkle on a little bit of cheese, mozzarella of course. Barely any, like a tiny handful. We're not topping the pizza just yet. Put these in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Depending on your oven, depending on how many pizzas you're making, that should do ya. We're gonna par cook these. This is the secret to making really good, crunchy, delicious pan pizza. Alright, carefully remove it from the oven. I'm using these little dough hook thingies that they use at Pizza Hut, which you can also buy online. Alright, now you can top your pizza for real. Also, when you're topping your pizza, you want to make sure that you do it carefully because the pan is still very hot. Add another couple tablespoons of sauce, sprinkle it with some mozzarella cheese, and then I'm going to go simple. I just like pepperoni, but you can use peppers, you can use mushrooms, you can use salami. Just make sure that you go light on the toppings and that you cut them down to mini pieces so that way they don't change the cooking times of the pizza. Last but not least, sprinkle on your fairy dust. Alright, back in the oven for another 8 to 10 minutes. You'll know when it's done. It'll look done, it'll look perfect, and the outside will be nice and crusty. But don't leave the kitchen when this happens. It can happen pretty quickly and it can go from perfect to burnt in seconds. Alright, remove your pan from the oven and let it cool for about a minute or two. Alright, now to remove from the pan, you want to make sure that you're wearing a glove, protecting your fingers, and you want to use a thin spatula and rotate it around the edges of the pizza dough. Because we put the no stick spray, it should really sit. And then remove it to a serving platter. Because the cheese fell from the outside corners to the edges, it got nice and burnt, so you gotta have a nice little frico crust, which is delicious. And I'm gonna actually zoom in here so that you can hear how crunchy this is. I would call this a perfect pizza. All you gotta do now is slice it up, serve it, and enjoy it with your favorite arcade game. Pan pizza. Not technically from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, but it is yummy! Thanks for watching. Did you like that pizza? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!